And once they heard that audio, obviously that throws up their antennas, the NCAA and the FBI, to really kick up the investigation in Baton Rouge. And they've done that. They have talked to countless amounts of people that I'm very close with. I mean, I've heard some of the details of what both the NCAA and the FBI have been asking about through for LSU athletics, through boosters and through people who support the program and people who have been around the program, right? So for the last 4 years, LSU has been under the microscope of the NCAA and really the FBI. Now, at some point during that same time period, Pat Forde, who was a very well-respected writer during his time, totally changed his approach to his profession and became a mouthpiece for the NCAA. I don't know if he's on the NCAA's payroll. I don't know if he is trying to cover up something that the NCAA may have on him. I don't know what it is. But Pat Forde has totally changed his tune on the type of writer that he is, because he has become, in our world, I come from radio and now we're in digital media, but we used to call people like Pat Forde like that shock jocks, people that wanted they wanted the reaction. They wanted to give you something where it was going to create some waves. They wanted to disrupt the day. They wanted to have people talking about what they are saying every day. So they'll get on, and maybe some days I've been a shock jock, right? I mean, we've been doing this for 11 years now.
More jock than anything.
But Forde, every time he writes, he's trying to create this bubble, this reaction, this wave that he wants to crash. Well, it has worked, but it's lost its power. It's lost its punch, because every time he puts out an article, all he can do is state within one or two sentences that either the notice of allegations for LSU were on the way, or now, like he said yesterday, that the notice of allegations have arrived. After those statements, he gives no new information. In fact, if you read yesterday's report and article, it is verbatim. It is a copy and paste story to the same exact one that he has written over the last consecutive years, going on 4 years now. I mean, it is the transcript between Wade and Dawkins. It gives all the back and forth dialogue between those two guys on the phone conversation that if you watch the HBO documentary, you heard it. If you've read any of Forde's reports over the last 4 years, you've seen it. You don't need to see it again. You understand what happened 4 years ago, 5 years ago in 2017 in this ordeal, right? So what LSU has kind of been waiting, or at least the fan base has, and kind of been my stance since, all of this started to bubble. And look, there was a time period when Wade was suspended. He missed regular season games. He missed conference tournament games, and he missed March games. He missed NCAA postseason tournament games.
In the beginning of this?
In the beginning of this. He was suspended for a month. He was suspended the day before the final regular season basketball game in 2019. 3 years ago. That's the night that Oliva walked into the Maravich Center, and it looked as if they were going to kill him
right. I remember
when he
that.
walked in there, right? So from that day, a month forward, Wade is suspended and essentially misses the end of the regular season. He misses the SEC tournament, and he misses March, where his team won a game, right? But then a month later, Wade was reinstated. Now, Wade was reinstated with a couple of changes to his contract, right? Like Wade admitted, or not admitted, but he very much gave a one-sided deal to LSU, showing that if anything was to pop up, if anything was to come to light, if anything from the violations that, Forde and all these writers are alleging, if these things are agreed upon, then Wade's in trouble. Here's the parameters of the contract in 2019 that he agreed upon. Wade agreed to a one-sided deal after LSU suspended him indefinitely of March of 2019 when Wade stupidly refused to cooperate with the NCAA or LSU officials. Now, this is coming from Forde, right? Who wanted to talk to him about the Yahoo story and the other matters. A month later, Wade came back to LSU, got reinstated, and made significant contract concessions. The notice was issued from the NCAA's. Then the NCAA formed a committee. Like the NCAA, so much time, so much just bureaucracy, right? Like so much just red tape and old white men sitting behind these doors, just counting money and trying to find ways to keep themselves busy and act like they're working. So they go out and they make and create these resolution boards and councils, like the Independent Accountability Oversight Committee, or the Infractions Referral Committee, or the Complex Case Unit, or the Independent Resolution Panel that they've all developed over the last couple of years. Now, LSU got its word yesterday from the Independent Accountability Resolution Process, which is a request for referral of the infractions case involving LSU to the IARP, which was granted by the Infractions Referral Committee, consistent with the rules and procedure. I mean, like, it is just word soup, right? Like that you just kind of get lost in. But what my stance has been and continues to be is that if anything comes to light, Wade has agreed upon it. He's agreed to it years back, that he has stated they find something and you have calls to fire me, you owe me, the money is evaporated. It's a very one-sided deal for LSU. Wade has agreed to this portion, this portion of the deal. What I am saying is, you see how much of a crusade that Forde, Thamel, the writers that covering this side of the story have been on to come down on LSU. If there was ever a piece of new news on LSU, I guarantee you there is not a news service in the world these days that can protect that type of information. Somebody is going to leak that. Somebody's going to leak it to Pat Forde. And Pat Forde is not going to be able to contain himself with the time that he can wait to get to his computer, his phone, to upload that information, to throw sparks and throw fire at LSU. So if there's anything in the report that was handed to LSU, which LSU confirmed that they received yesterday, and they still have the opportunity to go through a process where, look, I don't think that this thing's going to touch Wade immediately. I think that he's going to be able to go through the rest of the season. He's going to be able to go through the conference tournament and the postseason tournament. But at some point, there's going to be some type of action around whatever the NCAA served to LSU. My stance is that if there's anything groundbreaking in there, the most surprising part to me will be that it hasn't come to light yet. Right? Like if there's something in there, a smoking gun, something that can get Wade, that's got him in a corner, that is proven what some people believe to be his recruiting practices have now been pushed to the light and say, look, there it is. This is how he does it. This is how he exchanges the hand, whatever it is. If that's in there, then Wade's toast. There's no debate. There's no debate on that. If they have Wade dead to right on a major infraction, he's done. He's dead man walking. But I also believe if they had that, you would know it by now. And you wouldn't have found out yesterday. You'd have known when that story broke over the last couple of months or weeks. The NCAA and the FBI have been fishing around Baton Rouge and around South Louisiana for the last 4 years, begging, looking, searching for a crack, a story, some type of opening in Will Wade's armor that can let them in to paint him as a crook. Because Will Wade has embarrassed the NCAA